going to be as tired as you're going to hear me all day. Okay, here we go. VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 748, recorded on March 20th, 2025.
Welcome to the 748th edition of the TD Gaming Podcast and 581st episode of Video Game Roundtable. I'm TJ Dinser.
I am Scott Dirk.
I am Jonah Falcon.
The VGRT Gaming Podcast focuses on game news from around the industry and a gaming flashback. So
I know that Scott has been playing Suikoden 1 and 2 Remastered and Minecraft and The Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
Yep.
Funny thing about Discord being a spoiler like that. So, have you played anything? Hey, how far have you gotten in Indiana Jones?
I finished the whole Raiders of the Lost Ark part, and then I got to the museum, and Candyman was there, and he was like apparently really tall, and he beat the crap out of Indy. I don't know if I was supposed to win or lose that fight, but I guess I lost it. And then I did a little puzzle putting back artifacts. So I'll have to get back to that. I did finish Daybreak 2, so I'll be able to get back to that soon.
So, by the way, the Nephil that you face off, that giant, that is Tony Todd in his last ones.
Right, Tony Todd. He was also in Star Trek as Worf's brother Kern. Like I said, Candyman, and he's had a bunch of other roles too.
How about you, TJ? What have you been playing?
Mostly Deadlock and mostly Xenoblade Chronicles X. I reviewed Xenoblade Chronicles X. It came out today. Really cool game. For those who don't know, the definitive edition is what just came out. It's a port of the Wii U game to Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, and they're all the personifications of the consoles. You have the personification of the Nintendo system, the personification of the Xbox, personification of the PlayStation, personification of the PSP, all that stuff.
It's also just a really good open world sci-fi RPG. Progression is like a bit different from a lot of other games where like you don't fight your way to moving forward. It's literally you are part of a civilization that crash landed on this world, and by mistake, of course, and the world is very, very fierce and very scary and full of large creatures. And,
hey, Scott, have you played Xenoblade Chronicles?
Yes, I played the first one.
Oh, okay. Not X?
I don't think it was X.
A lot of people missed out on X because it came out near the end of the Wii U's cycle.
Yeah.
It was on the Wii U. But like, you advance the story by going out, exploring the world, and putting probes in that like map the territory. And by getting a certain percentage on your survey on the world, you unlock chapter stories that move you forward. And there's so many creatures in the game that are like so much stronger than you, and it really pushes forth the idea right from the get-go that you should not fight everything. It's a bad idea. You'll get killed because some of these monsters are as small as like little bugs, but some of them are as gargantuan as buildings. And
people have Fallout New Vegas flashbacks there.
Yeah. And
wait, you mean I'm going to a town populated entirely by Deathclaws?
Yeah. And like one of the most impressive parts about it is that for this being Switch hardware, there's like no loading. There's no loading between biomes. It's a vast open world and it's very beautiful and the creatures are very interesting. But like the most loading you'll see in the game is startup, like loading your game. And that's impressive because the game is very pretty. Monolith Software is just kind of good at doing things on Nintendo's ecosystems. So that was a really good game. I really love that game. It's got one of the best soundtracks in a series full of good soundtracks. And it's out today. I would recommend anyone that has never had a chance to check out Xenoblade Chronicles X should do so. You don't need any prior knowledge of the series to jump in. It's a standalone game, and it's very fun.
And it's on every console anyway. Doesn't matter which platform you have, you can get it.
It's only on Nintendo Switch.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
Monolith Soft has been doing exclusivity on Nintendo Switch for a while. I think Nintendo
I'm
owns
thinking
them
of
at this
taking one
point.
and two remastered.
I think Nintendo owns Monolith Soft at this point. Let me make sure of that. Yeah, they were bought out by Nintendo in 2007, so they've been working with Nintendo closely for a couple decades. Yeah, but the other thing I've been doing is just playing. Whenever I'm not on the clock, I'm playing Deadlock. Deadlock around the clock. That's TJ time.
When the fuck is that thing coming out?
Never. It's going to be an early access for the rest of known existence. However,
Like-
they are making like rudimentary improvements to it over time. I'm not crazy about this last one. I think I've told you all before, but when Deadlock came out, it was a 4-lane MOBA. It's 6v6, so you would have 2 lanes that had 2 players in them, and then you would have 2 lanes that were solo single-player lane. And I liked that. I liked that dynamic because it made ganking more interesting. Like, you had the opportunity to work with other players, but you also had the opportunity to play by yourself for a little while.
Have you guys seen the Inzoi game that just released a demo?
Which one?
Inzoi.
Inzoi. How do you spell that?
Inzoi.
I have not. Let me look at this. Oh, it's a life sim.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very Japanese license.
Wow. It's very pretty.
It's gorgeous, and people talking about like they're about to break up with The Sims and go play Inzoi instead.
Oh, this is a Krafton published gig. Very. It looks interesting at the very least.
Yeah, you're able to drive around in the car and build very tall buildings.
Yeah, I'm not quite ready to go after it.
It's very cool looking. But yeah, on Deadlock, I've been I've been playing a new character a lot. Holiday. She's like a cowboy themed character. Her big thing is she can throw barrels of explosives, and if she's on the ground, she'll just roll them forward towards her enemies. But she also has this trampoline pad that she can throw out in front of her and then bounce on it to get big air. And when she's in the air, she can throw her barrels, but also punch them after she throws them and turn them into you basically do strafing bombing runs on enemies with her. And then finally, she's got a lasso that she can throw at enemies and pull them to her. And she can't shoot at them while she's got them in a lasso, but she can move around with them. And one of the funniest things to do is grab somebody and yank them in and pull them under these towers in MOBAs where, like, the goal is to get to these towers and blow them up. But if you don't have minions under them, then they blow you up. And you just lasso someone and pull them under the tower and let the tower do the work. It's complete gremlin energy for a character, but I kind of love her for that.
I tried out 33 Immortals. That's the new game by Thunder Lotus. They're the people who were behind Spiritfarer. And basically, you're one of 32 other people who go in and just do a roguelike together. That's it. You have to do, in order to advance to the next whatever, you have got to complete these mini missions. And what they do is they take you and up to 5 other people, put you in a little cramped space and then say, have at it. So not only do you have all these monsters attacking you, you're like in a closed space and it's like, no room to move, you know? Eventually you can be resurrected once and then you die and you're kicked out. You have to start all over again and you earn perks, you earn cosmetics, you earn a lot of other things. So there's something to be said. Main overworld is a bit big, so it's sort of like you have to actively seek out other people to play with them. You can actually create teams. It's in early access, so it's promising. I mean, there's something to be said for plopping down 33 people on a map and saying, have at it. Choose your weapon and go fight people. And you can fight alone, which is a mistake, or you can fight with other people, which is a lot better. Because without teamwork, you will get overwhelmed eventually. It has the same graphic artwork that you see in Spiritfarer, except much smaller. Customization isn't as dramatic either, as you might find. But again, it's in early access, so we'll see. But like I said, Thunder Lotus knows how to make a game. So far, it seems pretty fun. They're actively getting suggestions from fans. And it's starting to develop its own fan base. So it'll be interesting to see where this game is in a year from now. I haven't played the new game that just came out. Oh God, what's the name of that game? It's Oh God, it has a weird name. Mullet Magic Air. Magic Air.
Oh.
Have you seen it?
Is it Mullet Mad Jack?
Mullet Magic Air.
Huh.
It's Magic with an ARE at the end. So yeah, that game is just basically like a '90s. It's like the '90s, and you're punching people with mullets and monsters and doing these finishing moves. It's really high. It isn't like other '90s shooters. Like it's not like Duke Nukem, and it's not like Quake, and it's not like Doom. It's its own thing. I would say it's almost closer to Redneck Rampage, except it has much better graphics than Redneck Rampage. And it's just full of wit and all that stuff. I haven't played it yet, but a lot of people are raving about it. It's a new hit thing. While you're looking it up, you might want to invest some time in it. It's on Game Pass, which is why I can sample it. But yeah, it's kind of wacky and wild and pretty engaging, and also very fast paced too. Anyways, I really haven't played it much else. I've just been trying to advance in Foundation. That's about it. Anyways. We have a gaming history, so take it away, TJ. Talk about this dubious entry in the gaming flashback.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's, or FNAF, as the kids call it, is a 2014 point-and-click survival horror game developed and published by Scott Cawthon. The player controls Mike Schmidt, a night security guard at a family pizzeria. Schmidt must complete his shifts while avoiding the homicidal animatronic characters that wander the restaurant at night.
Basically, it's a Chuck E. Cheese.
The player has access to the security cameras to monitor the animatronics throughout the shift, and a set of steel doors that can lock out the characters. Using the cameras and doors consumes the player's limited electricity, and draining all the power causes the tools to become inoperable. If a player fails to keep an animatronic out of the office, they will be jump scared and experience a game over. Cawthon conceived the idea for Five Nights at Freddy's based on criticism of his previous game, Chipper and Sons Lumber Co. Reviewers complained of its unintentionally frightening characters that had unnatural movement, inspiring Cawthon to create an intentionally scarier experience.
Wait a minute. That always reminds me of Creepy Watson.
Yeah. You turn around and he's there. You walk around about 5 feet, look around the corner. He's there, always just staring.
Yes. And not always at the same distance either. Sometimes he's really close up. Sometimes he's far away.
Yeah. You turn around and he's like 5 feet in front of you, and then like you look another way. And he's like 15 feet by a fountain. Developed in 6 months using the Click Team Fusion 2.5 game engine, Five Nights at Freddy's was released for Windows through Desura on August 8, 2014. And through Steam on August 18.
Remember
it was made available. Wait, what?
Remember Desura?
I have no idea what that is.
That was such a niche. It may still be around, but it was sort of like a Steam competitor.
Huh.
I remember back when all the YouTubers were playing Five Nights at Freddy's, and it was like...
Scott.
And they were doing like these big screaming reactions. Like
we're about to talk about. They were the subject of Let's Play videos, which became a thing.
Well, let me wrap this up really quick. Five Nights at Freddy's received generally positive reviews from critics, many considering it a frightening and distinct horror game. Reviewers praised the atmosphere, sound design, and gameplay mechanics, although some found the jump scares repetitive and the game to have little replay value. It became the subject of Let's Play videos on YouTube and gained a large fan following. The game's success led to the launch of a media franchise, including many sequels and books, and its popularity led to several imitations and fan games. A film was adapted by the Blumhouse Productions and released in 2023. That movie sucked.
By the way, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 came out the same year. I never found it funny because jump scares aren't frightening. It's just...
Yeah, I mean, it's like a slight startle, but not like the scream fits that people would do. It would just be like, okay, calm down. It's not that scary.
Yeah, and then they had that controversy with the RPG, and give Cawthon some credit, he refunded everybody and said, look, here's all your money back, and you can keep the game. So you got a free game instead. And he actually kept working on the RPG till it was actually passable. So, But yeah, this started an entire genre for a hot minute.
Yeah, and like even if it like people call it repetitive, it did set like an iconic tone of The guy really did capture like a weird Chuck E. Cheese vibe, like a weird Chuck E. Cheese or a weird Banana Splits vibe, and like
the Banana Splits movie was much better.
yeah,
He did a horror version of the Banana Splits, and it was funny.
I liked Wally's Wonderworld with Nicolas Cage, which was also kind of inspired by that. There's a lot of stuff that wasn't, and that's like kind of a thing about this is that Five Nights at Freddy's, like it or not,
Cage film and not
inspired a lot of stuff.
Why would you have a Nicolas Cage film and not have him talk during the entire film?
Oh, but he's so good at hamming it up with the.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Machine.
That was the most. That was and he doesn't talk the whole time, and it's just so over the top. Like who has? Oh my God! They like two of them start just having sex in the middle of this place, and it's like, why are you doing this now? It could not be the most unsexual place possible.
Did you see Pig? Did you see Pig?
Pig? No.
Go see Pig. It's a Nicolas Cage film in which he's a recluse, he's a hermit in the woods who owns a truffle sniffing pig, and his truffle sniffing pig is kidnapped, and he has to go find it, and it goes in places you would not expect. It is really, really, really a good film.
It's also worth noting that apparently not talking in Wally's Wonderworld was a decision that he was part of. He liked that. I don't know why, but like Nicolas Cage is a weird guy.
He thought it was a shitty movie, and he thought he could make it seem better if he didn't talk in it.
I don't know. He apparently, according to him, he was way into the script the moment he saw it.
Okay. Well,
either way,
Nicolas Cage owes so much money to everybody. He does films like Left Behind.
Yeah.
I think him being quiet was probably the best part of that movie, to be honest, because at least it was kind of a funny thing. You know, you go on his break, and he doesn't care what's happening to the people, and he's doing his little ping pong thing, and he drinks a drink, and then he goes out there and he kills one of the puppets, and it's just so bizarre and so bad. It's bad that it's good. It's like that Rocky Horror or The Room. You could kind of make fun of it.
Wow, Pig came out in 2021. That was a long time ago.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, I strongly suggest you go see Pig. It'll surprise you. Trust me.
All right.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's. Still making games for it. There's still an audience for it. Long past its expiry date. Hey, you know, that got Mr. Cawthon a lot of money.
It sure did. Like, there's all sorts of Five Nights at Freddy's merchandise out there now. Like, there's Five Nights at Freddy's plushies, Five Nights at Freddy's keychains, Funko Pops, of course. And then like it says in there, like there's books and spin-offs based on this. There's also like I've actually went through the wikis a couple times. There's a weirdly deep lore to those games.
Yeah, there's a lot of little cutscenes on there where they show a scene, and then I guess you have to go do the ARG or whatever, the ARG, and you find out what these little cutscenes are. These little like 8-bit cutscenes, or not even 8-bit, they're like Atari bit, like 2 or 4-bit. They're like really bad, but like bad stuff was happening at these restaurants, and it's just crazy how wild some of the deep dives some people did. I remember that one guy, the game theory guy, would just do a whole bunch of videos on this thing, and the other tourist death trap like games. There's a bunch of them too.
A sequel was just announced, and I thought, oh, TJ must be really excited, and now I forgot the name of it. There was a sequel that was announced the other day, and I was thinking, well, I wonder what TJ is going to think of this. Now
I'm really curious.
Something two.
Something two.
Yeah, I don't know. I
don't know. I'm trying to think of anything that's like a sequel that really caught my attention in the last couple days.
It's a game that you love, and it's like, oh, well, you should be happy this is coming out.
I'm looking through news to see if I can find anything like that. I'm not sure.
It did just announce on Onimusha 2 Remastered, but that's not what I'm thinking of.
You're gonna have to tell me if you remember.
I'll remember it as we talk. We're going to move on to quick news. The Last of Us 2 Remastered's PC specs and features are detailed, and Sony reiterates there's no PSN account required, which, it's a single-player game. You don't need to be on PlayStation Network to freaking play it. That was the big controversy like 2 years ago in which you had to have PSN account just to play a single-player mode of I think was it The Last of Us or was it a God of War game? I think it was God of War.
It might have been either God of War or one of the Spider-Mans.
Yeah, I know it was one of the Spider-Mans actually, but at least they learned their lesson. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope. EA Sports College 26 to increase NIL payouts to $1,500. It's almost a 150% raise from the $600 players were getting for appearing in EA Sports College Football 25. Which, considering how much money they made on that game, it's sort of like chump change.
Sure, but also good for the players. I mean, not every one of them is going to go pro, so...
That's the thing. So if you're a scrub on one of those teams, you ain't seeing $1,500.
Yeah. I was telling my boss when I read this article, I was like, I'm going to go down to Texas A&M, be a third-string kicker, and get my $1,500 check.
Wait a minute. I just saw some endless... Oh, never mind. Anyways, moving on. Palworld Update 0.5.0 patch brings crossplay to the game, so PC and console can play together. And since they're moving forward so confidently, I don't think Nintendo has any... I think they're not really worried about anything Nintendo says.
If they are, they're not showing it. Like, for a company that is supposedly being sued by Nintendo for copyrights, they are pretty much moving forward as scheduled to do whatever they do. I've never... It's not often that you see a group that is so unbothered by a Nintendo lawsuit.
Latro's local thunk is not revealing his name, and it's not because he wants to be Banksy. He just wants to be anonymous, which I can get. Well, he doesn't want to be known. That's fine. That's his prerogative.
I mean, at this point, he's made like the most award-winning game of the last year. So
yeah, how did he get his award if he doesn't want anybody to know his name?
I think he generally has PR pick it up for him.
Weird. Papers, Please creator Lucas Pope says it's quote unquote it's a tragedy. His 2013 immigration sim now feels so on the nose. Says you want your work to be relevant, but at the same time, wow, I wish it wasn't that fucking relevant. By the way, Lucas Pope also did the thing on the Oberdin. Something of the Oberdin. I still play Papers, Please every so often. So good. Yeah, it's kind of depressing.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out that sequel. Anyways, our first news item is Xbox lists Hollow Knight Silksong as part of the incredible upcoming indie lineup. This comes from Eurogamer. Today, Microsoft issued a press release regarding ID at Xbox, and they were doing some humble brags. Today Xbox offers more places than ever to play independent games. Xbox consoles, gaming PCs, laptops, the Asus ROG Ally X or the Legion Go, etc., etc. They're all on Xbox, and a potential hope for your next ID at Xbox title like Another Crab's Treasure, Eva, and Animal Well. By the way, I noticed that Animal Well and Slay the Spire and a couple of other indie games are coming off of PlayStation Plus, which I find strange. Because it makes me wonder, is Slay the Spire coming off Game Pass?
It wouldn't be the first time we've seen something removed.
I don't know what's going on.
I mean, games do eventually come off of Game Pass. They don't always stay there forever.
No, but Slay the Spire has been there for years.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true. There's got to be different deals at work, obviously.
Oh, yeah, because I know. I think both Sea of Stars and IUDN have come off of Game Pass. I know Crosscode came off of Game Pass.
Yeah, but Slay the Spire hasn't come off Game Pass.
It depends on their deal, I guess.
I guess.
I don't think they own it, so...
No, Humble Games owns it.
Yeah, Humble
Everything
Games.
on Humble Games comes out on Xbox, and Devolver Digital they don't do launches much anymore like they did with Carrion. But if a game is out on Digital Devolver, you can expect it to appear on Game Pass at some point. Moving on, in addition to more ways for people to play, we're ensuring the content that speaks to everyone, blah, 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 including the Xbox, including Botany Manor. Have you played Botany Manor?
No.
So in that game, you're walking around a house, a mansion, and there's all these different gardens. And you go in, you have to you have puzzles that you can solve. It's sort of like a gardening version of Myst,
That sounds very cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's very cozy. It's less stressful than Myst.
I think this is stressful.
What?
Myst is cozy. It's nice. I mean, you take your time. It's not rushing you.
Very long. At some point, you start becoming the Cosmic Keystone. Anyways, also the recently released Mullet and Magic Air, both of which are available today on the Game Pass. And here's the part that has everybody in a Twitter right now. They say, looking ahead, our lineup is incredible with upcoming games like Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Descenders Next, and FBC Firebreak to play across the whole Xbox universe. And of course, Hollow Knight Silksong 2. Now, you know how rabid fans have been about Silksong.
The white whale of gaming.
Yeah, I shared it. I shared it in my
Auto 6.
I shared it in one of my Discord groups, and they were like, "We'll believe it when we see it." So they're waiting for something more solid than this. But I mean, it's nice to hear it. If at least it means that the game is still being worked on and it's not abandoned.
Well, here's the thing about those games, Clair Obscur and all those. They're actually coming out very, very soon. They're coming out in April. So they lumped in Silksong with these April releasing games. Makes a thing, don't it? And the fact that they actually mentioned it, it's sort of like something being on Phil Spencer's shelf. You know, people always look for these little clues on his shelf of what's coming. So who knows? Maybe the impossible will happen and Silksong will finally come out in the next few weeks. And then no one will play video games anymore because Silksong came out. The end of video gaming. Well, it came out. That's it. It's all over.
I'm waiting for it as a time to come out. That's the one I'm waiting for.
Did you see the thing for Mana, Visions of Mana trailer for it?
Meta?
Visions of Mana.
Oh, yeah. What about Visions of Mana?
They just released a new trailer for it.
Oh, okay.
But it's not the sequel I'm thinking of that might excite. I can't believe that you don't know what it is because it's sort of like trying to remember what it is. Damn it! By the way, World of Goo 2 is coming out this spring.
Oh, that's good.
It already came out on Epic, I think. But I remember when they just said, "Pay whatever you want for this game." By the way, have you been playing Wilds, TJ?
I have. Not this week, but I had been playing it up until I started on Xenoblade Chronicles.
I know I remember that game like way too late.
I'm still working my way through the main campaign, so I'm way far away from the high level hunts that everybody else is doing. I do not understand why people like it's like something like people were posting in the first week. I have 130 hours in this game and it's mid. It's like, why'd you spend 130 hours on it then?
I don't know. Some games just take a long time to do anything.
I suppose, but it's just like that's a long time to spend on something to decide that.
Yeah, I remember someone played 500 hours on Starfield, so it's not that good. Really? You spent 500 hours on Starfield, and you're saying you don't like it?
That's too much time. That's too much time to spend on something to decide you don't like it.
How many golf courses do you take, kiddo?
I have never eaten a whole meal and then asked for seconds and then said, I don't like this.
The old line, the old line, food is terrible and the portions are so small. It's just ridiculous. Oh, the other thing is that a certain game is being pushed back to 2026. Major Microsoft game, and that is State of Decay 3. Oh. And some other games too. But here's the interesting thing about it. They're not doing it because they have this 3-month schedule and they don't want to crowd first party games. So they're just saying, you know what, take that game, polish it to an extreme, sort of like they just want the best game it can possibly have. And the same thing, by the way. Oh, and the Gears of War Immersion Day is the same thing. They're pushing it back and they're adding more stuff and they're increasing the graphics. You know what that tells me, right? Yeah, that is a launch title for the next Xbox. There's no reason to delay that game and give it more missions and better graphics. And how can you make better graphics unless you're going to be doing it on better hardware, right? By the way, Scott, when are you going to be playing Avowed? Because I finished it.
I'm not sure, but I do want to get it. I'm just not sure when I'm going to get it right now. I have to schedule when I have to budget when I buy these games.
Yeah, the story is surprising. I'm not going to say anything about it. It's just that it did not go where I thought it was going to. But here, let me ask you a question of the Pillars of Eternity universe. Do they have godless in it?
Gods?
Godless.
They have the God touched, yes.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing. The godless are God touched, but don't have a god.
No, I don't think I've seen that. It's usually the god touched her usually from one of the gods that
Right. So
supposedly touched them.
point is that you play a godless in that you have the god touched powers, but you don't have a god. Game revolves around that.
Okay, I think that's new. I don't think that was in previously, but I think that makes sense from what happens at the end of the second game.
What happens at the end of the second game?
Well, spoilers. So Eothaz possesses the big giant or what, I forgot what the material's called, but it's basically a giant statue, and it's the only thing.
They actually make reference, so you actually visit that statue.
Ardra, there we go. It's the Ardra statue. It was the Ardra statue that was underneath your keep in the first game, and he possesses it, gets out, he goes to the ocean because he's going to go break the wheel. He wants to stop the cycle because the gods are just inventions of the ancients, and he wants to end all that because he thinks that humanity has been enslaved to it and they need to be free from it so they can stop having these senseless wars. And you have a conversation with him at the end of the game. So you talk to him and you tell him what you want to do, exactly how you want to break the wheel and in what way. And
without spoiling anything, I'm going to say Avowed, it takes that concept, it takes that storyline and runs with it.
Yeah,
I'm going to say.
That's what it seems like.
So here's the thing. When you play Avowed, and if you finished Pillar of Eternity 2, you're going to say, oh, okay, we're going to be talking about this now. Because it goes into detail with the backstory about that. Even though I didn't play it, told me all about it. So yeah, a good part of it is going with the consequences of those actions, which, makes me feel better about it as opposed to Eternity sequel, in that it's not just some divorced game, right? It's not like, well, that's the isometric RPG. This is the first-person RPG. No, they're melded together apparently. Yeah, I think you might be pleasantly surprised when you play it if you're going from a story part. By the way, are you excited about Professor Layton and the New World of Steam?
Which game?
You didn't hear me. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam.
Oh yes, I don't know when that's coming out.
They didn't release it yet.
Okay, that's why. Yeah, but I've been waiting for the Professor Layton game. Yes,
I got the game. Okay, I know the game that recently started showing off trailers. TJ, I know you enjoyed the first game a lot. How are you feeling about the Sinking City 2?
Oh, I mean, it's Frogwares. I like their investigative stuff. I hope it's less tedious than the first one because the library was a bit much in the first game.
They apparently are jacking up the graphic.
That's great.
It doesn't look like a Frogwares game. It looks like they had some help with the graphics. But they just announced that the Kickstarter campaign launched on March 6th, and Microsoft showed it off at the Xbox Partner Preview.
Yeah, like I'm down for more Frogwares. I'm down for more Sinking City. The first game, for as tedious as it wasn't enough to keep me away from playing more of it. I dig Cthulhu and Investigations. Fun times.
Also, notably, it's for next gen, current gen only. It's not on PlayStation 4. It's not on Xbox One.
Yeah,
it's going to be using Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, that was the game. I saw the trailer. I said, "Oh, I bet TJ's happy about this."
I was. This is after they If anyone remembers the first game, Frogwares went through a heck of a bad time with their publisher and lost the rights to the game for a little bit and had to fight to get them back.
The irony is that the game called Cthulhu had the same exact problem, had the same exact setting, had the same exact everything else. It was sort of like another Sinking City, except this one is a little bit different. That one I think dealt more with the mobster, or they both had mobsters. Anyways, we're going to move on to the next item. Go ahead, TJ, and you actually wrote this article.
Apple and Google face antitrust charges as EU defies threat of Trump tariffs. From Shack News, the European Union is moving forward with antitrust allegations against Apple and Google for monopolistic practices barred by the Digital Markets Act. The EU is continuing these cases despite pressure from United States President Donald Trump's threat of retaliatory tariffs should the EU push legislation against business practice of American tech giants.
I don't think he understands what tariffs are.
He doesn't.
It's sort of
he doesn't understand anything.
He doesn't.
Here's what he's saying. You do what we say, or I'm going to punch myself in the face.
Yep.
I'm going to punch myself so hard you'll feel it.
I mean, we're a fascist state now, so until people openly revolt, we're in a fascist state right now, and it really sucks.
Let's move on to
Yeah.
the rest of the article, then we can continue to discuss.
The EU shared its plans to go forward with these accusations against Apple and Google this week, as reported by CNBC. The union alleges that Google used its search engine dominance to favor the company's own services and search results and push down results that would lead to competitors. The EU has been investigating Google at least since 2023 on this particular topic, and it has officially decided that these practices violate the DMA, which was signed into law in the EU in 2022. Similarly, Apple finds itself on the wrong side of the DMA for its alleged walled garden app ecosystem.
What?
EU,
What?
sorry?
What? Apple has proprietary stuff? Who would have thought?
No, they just when it comes to Apple's App Store, they are very restrictive about like what you can put on there and how.
It's nice that they actually twisted their arm to have them use USB-C.
Yeah, exactly. That was like a direct consequence of litigation against Apple, and they would have kept that stupid Lightning charger forever if nobody told them they couldn't otherwise. The EU was investigating allegations that Apple was prohibiting developers from guiding users to alternative solutions to the App Store on iOS.
Oh, Jesus Christ! That's the evil versus evil, Epic versus Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Now, by the way,
EU
I noticed something else. There's no longer the Xbox app no longer works as its own app to stream Xbox stuff on it. Now you have to go through the browser because I think Google started the same shit. So it's depressing. Hopefully they can get that straighted out too.
The EU has since found that these allegations to be true and has demanded that Apple provide interoperability for its iOS devices. That is, the ability to port data from one platform to another. Both actions come in defiance of current President Donald Trump's efforts to pressure Europe into compliance with his economic policies. Despite Trump threatening to take action against the EU over alleged excessive regulation of U.S. tech companies by way of tariffs, the EU has responded by enacting an anti-coercion countermeasure that would allow the union to act swiftly in case of economic coercion against EU national members. As Google and Apple seemingly skirt the rules to maintain their dominance in the tech industry, it seems regulatory proceedings between Europe and the U.S. are going to continue to grow more intense.
Again, we're gonna have everybody's computers cost more it doesn't make sense.
Every single person that he has put every single nation that he's put a tariff up
You
against.
said fuck you.
It's like he's trying to make us an enemy of everyone but Russia. It really feels that way.
You know what? Because it's like Napoleon. We're not against the United States. We're against them.
Yeah.
And by the way, one of the best things is when Canada said, "Oh, really?" And said, "Okay, all U.S. liquor off the shelves."
Yep.
And
Canadians
then
are fiercely.
Jack Daniels had the temerity to complain, and my answer is, well, maybe you should talk to the person who caused it to happen.
Canadians
And by the way, they have Canadian Club. They don't need whiskey. They don't need whiskey from.
Canadians are fiercely loyal to their nation in a much more polite way than Americans are loyal to their nation. And if you cross them, then they'll ban.
There's no.
Sorry?
I've never. You think Donald Trump is loyal to the United States? You must be kidding.
No, I'm telling you about it is Canadians are patriotic in a way that Americans aren't. They're polite about it up until the point where you piss them off, and then they're feisty as fuck.
Here's the thing that Donald Trump doesn't understand. They don't need us.
No, they don't.
They don't need us.
That's what I was saying earlier, is that every single nation that he's put these tariffs against has responded by saying, "Oh yeah, fuck you. Here's a tariff of your own."
You know how you deal with a bully? You just stand up to him and say, "Fuck you."
You bully him back.
What are you gonna do? And then what happens is bullies usually break down and cry.
Mm-hmm.
Always. It reminds me of the line from Mass Effect 3 by an ironic character who says, "Bullies have no friends when they most need them."
And sure enough, Canada threatened to basically cut off its supply of electricity to northern United States, and immediately Trump went like, "Why would somebody do that to somebody else?"
I don't know. Look in the mirror, baby.
Yeah, right?
They're not being fair. Dude, this is politics. There is no fair.
I really need to impeach him already. Get him out of there.
Oh, trust me. He's going to be out of there at one point or another, and they may not even wait to impeach him.
I don't want to wait 4 years. I don't want to wait 2.
Well,
It's rough.
I mean, he's shooting his pants. He's incontinent. But like I said, we need a little pain so we can be better afterwards, because this is a hard object lesson to a lot of people. It says, don't. hire people who don't know their job. You know, at their worst, what's it called? People who have actually been in the government before should be president. You know, people who know what they're doing. And the thing is that he's senile, and he's going even more senile. There's a reason why they had him take 2 senility tests before he was elected, and I think they're afraid to give him a third because it may not be impeachment that gets it. It may be Constitution number 25, Article 4, which is when you remove the president because they're unable to, for whatever reason, function in the office. Either it be they're comatose, or they're insane, or they're indisposed. And at some point, it's going to have to be Article 25. Amendment 25, Article 4. Like I said, this is not. See, here's the thing. The reason why Hitler was able to rise to power was that Germany was being oppressed by the Treaty of Versailles, and everything was shitty. Things were not shitty here. You know, he tried to do the Make America Great, and the thing is, from what?
Yeah.
People, what's it called? You don't do the reverse. Also, Germany didn't have social media. They didn't have, and whatever evils you want to say about social media, you have to understand. It's also that can't get away with a lot of bullshit because they will remember what you said and they will post it for you, even if you delete your messages.
Yep.
Yeah. The one thing that I hope EU would do is say, "Hey, YouTube is a monopoly."
Well, that would be good.
Yeah, I definitely want YouTube taken away from Google. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be
YouTube
Google. So
divided into 1,000 pieces.
they really should divest YouTube from Google.
I mean, the only other one I can think of is Dailymotion, and Dailymotion is just pathetic.
Yeah.
And Vimeo.
And Google has ruined its search engine through these stupid practices that it's doing.
Yep.
It used to be so easy to use Google to find accurate results, and now they got this AI integrated garbage that half the time.
The only problem is that Microsoft's version is just as bad and worse because it doesn't do as good a search as Google, which is hard to believe, but it's true. I would use oh god, what the fuck is its name?
I remember when
Bing. I would use Bing if it was actually competent.
I remember I was searching something on Google recently, and it was something simple like when did Super Metroid come out? And it told me it was 2006, which is completely fucking wrong. It was 1994, and I didn't know it was I was looking for 1994 for a reason, but I knew it wasn't fucking 2006.
Hold on.
And they've gotten a little bit better.
It came out in 2007.
And they've gotten a little bit better, but they also they've pushed this stupid integration so much that it just the search results are half shoddy. And I don't know when I can expect it to be accurate.
Even if it was accurate, I don't need an AI answering my Google search.
Right. Give me articles and relevant pages that I can look at.
And then let me see. Let me do Google search for say Superman Doomsday. So actually this is not so bad. The first thing it comes up with is
it's utter garbage in the journalism industry because they've completely wrecked how every form of discoverability for sites that weren't already fully and wholeheartedly established in every field.
Holy shit. I did not know that the world's population has green eyes. Wow. I'm 9% in the United States, so I feel special. I'm just trying to Google search and see the garbage that comes up. I mean, I guess, let me see. Let me just say dishwasher and see what happens if I do that. Because that is an item. There we go. So, yeah. So, first things I have sponsored answers, and finally Home Depot, and then a Wikipedia article about dishwasher. Yeah, and then we need someone to break up Amazon. Although that's going to be harder to do because Walmart is huge, and I don't know. Did you do any of the? Well, it's kind of easy to do the no online sales thing when they happen. I didn't do any online sales back on the 28th, February 28th, when they had that one. And they had some, but it was easy for me because I didn't really buy much.
No, I didn't.
Anyway, yeah, I'm just waiting for the economy to crash.
Seems like it's coming at this point.
Good thing because the best way to get rid of cockroaches is to shine lights on them.
Right.
And that's basically what's happening is You know, the funny thing is that these idiots don't understand why the Ku Klux Klan wore hoods. They wore hoods so you didn't know who it was.
Right.
My favorite part is Elon Musk is becoming even more despised around the world than Donald Trump, as if that were
He's so
possible.
mad about it. He wants so badly to be liked, and
He got his mommy to defend him. He got his fucking mother. Stop making fun of my show.
Didn't his own dad have to call him out about the stupid Emerald Mine? Like, yes, son, we have an Emerald Mine.
You know, you ever see Men in Black?
Yeah.
I've seen Men in Black when he's facing off against a giant cockroach, and he starts stepping on cockroaches and say, "Don't start none. Don't want none. Don't start none." You know, that's basically what this is. Hey, you know what? We'll stop when you stop. And oh, by the way, you already we're never going to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if here's the thing that these people don't understand. No one likes Nazis.
Oh, did you hear the chant? Did you hear the chant for the protest chant against Elon?
What?
We don't want no Nazi cars. Let's send Elon back to Mars.
Yeah, all those promises he makes have not come true. Hyperloop.
Yeah. Now Tesla cars are being recalled. Not only attacked and bombed, and his stock going down really fast.
Yeah,
They just put out
by the way,
another Cybertruck.
Tesla stockholders are really annoyed too.
They just put out another
Hey,
Cybertruck
what was our
recall
CEO
today.
doing?
Yeah.
They just put out another,
It's not glued on right.
yeah, there was straight up like a trim panel like along the top of the door
Yeah, but
that could just
yeah.
easily be pulled off, and the glue on it is failing, and so it's just falling off on its own now.
Gee, I wonder why he doesn't want any, independent testing of his cars.
Yeah.
Just like he doesn't want any independent testing of his rockets. Oh, there goes another one.
They're put together like play school those yellow and red children's cars from back in the day.
Yeah, and remember we were with kind, halcyon days. We were just making fun of him for Path of Exile 2. Oh, by the way, Ralph is. We had some reader comments. I don't have them with me, but he's been saying he's been playing a lot of Path of Exile 2. Maybe we should ask Ralph about that web of skills and perks. That gigantic web. That is so incredible. I can't imagine any other game with that kind of web of skills.
Yeah.
Imagine some people try to chart it. I mean, they did it with Diablo. You can imagine trying to do it with Path of Exile. I still have not played Diablo 4, by the way.
I haven't either. Not that it matters. I wasn't going to in the first place.
I do have Diablo 2, and I actually started playing a little bit of Diablo 1. And it's sort of like, oh, right, this entire game is just going into this tower and going down, and that's the entire game. Diablo 1. I remember first playing it, and I was immediately hooked because of the music, that guitar. And it was the coolest thing ever. 1999, that guitar solo that's during the entire game. That's how people knew it was a great game, just from the music. And stay a while and listen. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Wirt is an asshole. I'm glad he was killed between. Find his leg and create the cow level. Anyways, look for our show notes at gamingpodcast.net along with industry news and our gaming history articles. If you enjoy feedback, so leave us comments on our blog at gamingpodcast.net. Also, hit us up at facebook.com/gamingpodcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes, iTunes comments. You can find me at Blue Sky at Jonah Falcon.
You can find me at Johnny Chugs.
You can find me at Shard the Sage.
And we will see you next week, and hopefully we'll have some more interesting news.
Happy gaming, everyone.
Have fun, be cool, play games, y'all.